we grow up with our media perceptions of African Americans because that history that we actually needed to learn in the classroom was not available because we're under a British system.
We're all being oppressed. We're not trying to say I'm more oppressed than you are, or you're more oppressed than I am. That's not the objective here. One Tribespeople. TJMTM is back. Episode Cuatro.
Cuatros.
Quatre in French.
What is it in Spanish?
Cuatro.
In Wolof, we say ñenent.
Ñenent?
Ñenent.
Ñenent. That's kind of fire, bro. I'm not gonna lie. What's good, people?
Yes, sir.
The boys are back.
Back again.
Shit. Consistency is the name of the game for this season.
I told you, we're Amazon Prime this season.
One day I'm moving like DHL. Remember when United was sponsored by DHL? That short-lived it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Was it? But it was the train insurance.
That was the trainers.
Yeah.
I remember them, the DHL.
The DHL.
Yeah, long sleeve trainers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have one of those?
I don't think I did. I had the long sleeve trainers, but I don't think I had the DHL United ones.
Okay. All-time favorites got to be Vodafone for me.
Oh, come on. No, AIG for me.
AIG?
The AIG 2008-09, we won the Champions League that had the little strip at the back.
Yeah.
CR7. AIG.
Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah. Rooney and them, like, they were moving mad
that
with those.
08-09 AIG.
Yeah.
No, 07-08 AIG.
Yeah.
That's the one for me. I remember having the Ronaldo original jersey one. Yeah. Man, I walked to everyone's like, now original with this, now original with this. This was when I was this early.
I get down with that. I like those. I like the blue ones of those.
Yeah, the blue ones.
The blue ones went hard.
40-yard free kick on Almunia. That's just Arsenal. Champions League.
Mad thing, bro. Nah, welcome back, people.
Yes, sir.
I'm the co-host, DJ Anzo, here with the man with the most, Uncle E.
Come on.
You heard. And we're TJMTM. If you don't know who we are, we're the Jola Meets the Muddy podcast. Our mission is to edutain you on all things African. So culture, sports, what else? Traditions. History, music, everything. Food. As we canoe down through this thing called life, our mission is to edutain you on all those things African. And our perspective is the diasporan, African diasporan living in the United States of America.
The US of A.
And sharing just our perspectives and broad experiences. As you know, we've recently become, can we say TikTok famous? Can we say TikTok famous? Like,
I don't know, but
nonetheless, there's been a lot of discourse on TikTok.
Yes, the discourse has been doing its thing.
It's been good, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I like seeing that. Right?
It's good, the engagement. And I think it's important for people to, it sounds like, voice a lot of these opinions, sentiments that were previously not either discussed or it was in a very divisive manner.
Right. Heavy on the divisive manner, because I think a lot of that is coming to light now, in the sense that all parties involved have been very tribal, right?
Yes.
Can you blame someone? No. Can you point a finger? No. But that's why we're having this conversation, and we've been having these conversations. It's to continue to inform rather than misinform, right? Some of the comments I saw regarding history itself were very, very telling, because much like our last episode, we were talking about how art has been looted from Africa and gate-kept from us, right?
Yes.
A lot of African American history has been gate-kept from African Americans, right?
From Africans, you mean?
Both
sides.
Both sides. White people not teaching Black history in schools, not teaching African history in schools, or whitewashing it.
So for you, when you were in primary school in Uganda, how much exposure or education on African American history did you encounter? Let's say primary school, Uganda, East Africa.
Minimal.
Minimal.
And the extent that we knew of was the Atlantic slave trade.
Oh,
Let's say all slave trades, but it was minimal.
Okay.
Yeah. I had the privilege of having informed people in my family, and so that's how I learned about more than just that. Unfortunately, a lot of people in Uganda primary school where I experienced that they didn't get that opportunity.
I would say it's the same all the way. I would say through high school that I experienced in Gambia as well, where we're under Cambridge, British curriculum, right?
Right. That's the other thing to note.
So if we're under British curriculum and our history classes in high school are based on this British Board of Education, their curriculum, of African American history, for what I remember in history class, was briefly only civil rights movement in the 60s. Here was MLK who said peace, nonviolence, and here is Brother Malcolm who said violence by any means necessary. That was like the only exposure to any sort of African American history that I encountered growing up in the Gambia.
You think about it, that's wild. That's it makes sense why there was a divide, right?
Yes, and while we're not getting that history taught to us, guess who's pushing stereotypes and perceptions to us? It's the media, right?
Right.
So then now we grow up with our media perceptions of African Americans because that history that we actually needed to learn in the classroom was not available because we're under a British system.
Exactly.
So imagine even just like our generations, our parents' generations, aunts, uncles growing up, and now the media is playing a direct hand of showing these people are violent, they're gang members, thugs, welfare, all of these. So it starts, it's anywhere you go. Like if you don't know much about them, but this is only what you see on TV being perpetuated, guess what's going to happen? Miseducation, misinformation, and hence stereotypes.
For sure. My experience with that, right, was when I moved here, the place I moved to didn't have any Africans, right? Okay. There was one other Nigerian family, and we're still friends.
There's always one Nigerian family, guaranteed.
But in turn, some of my best friends growing up, and still to this day, were African American, right? We didn't, you see, the circumstance we were put in didn't allow for us to think of each other as different, right? Because we could count on one hand two hands how many of us there were, right? So
as in black people.
So the objective very quickly did not, and also we're kids too, but the objective very quickly became like, we need to band together, right? And through that, we share experiences, we learn experiences, and what do you find? We're one and the same.
So to what you said there, I don't know if this is fact or theory, but this is how it comes off to me. In areas where just the black people are so much of a minority, I feel like you would generally see more unity between Africans and African Americans, Afro-Caribbeans, from a sheer need that you're in a place that's so predominantly, it could be white or Asian, you are such a minority, you would be wise to make sure that, you guys stick to each other, support each other, uplift each other, which I feel like that's how it should be normally. But it seems like in places where it's now a diverse group of black people in one, so you have a lot of Africans, a lot of African Americans, Afro-Caribbeans, I don't find the unity there as prevalent as in areas where they're a minority.
Right.
I find now you start having the, very resentful sentiments on both sides, stereotypes playing against each other, and just no unity and any need to understand kind of the urgency, but the importance to make sure that we're all kind of one big community. I don't see that in areas where it's a diverse group of black people in the US. I find more wars there or just not getting along.
Right. And I think the rule of numbers comes into play there too, because if you have more of your kind, why do you need to
mingle with others?
Right. It
Fair enough.
becomes tribal at a certain point. One thing I like to, there's a quote, I forget who even said it, but someone said, like, if there's no enemy within, then the enemy outside can do us no harm, right? You think about that, right? Who's our common enemy? And not enemy in the sense, but like, who is the common antagonist in all these situations?
The Oyibo man.
There you go, right? So how is it that we're allowing their agenda to be pushed on us? How is it that we're allowing them to be tenfold more successful and tenfold control all things in the communities
ownership
that we live in and whatnot? I mean, you got to start thinking about stuff like that, right? There was a comment that also on my TikTok that this person was talking about how the idea of unity is essentially impossible because Africa was never a utopia and Africa was never united. I said, okay, has anywhere ever been united? A utopia, right? I don't think we're looking for a utopia. I think we're just looking to live together, right? We have a very serious issue with we're all being oppressed. We're not trying to say I'm more oppressed than you are, or you're more oppressed than I am. That's not the objective here. The only thing we know is that we're both being oppressed, right?
That's a fact.
And so if a French nigga goes to Germany, he's not going to be like, I'm not going to do business with you because you're German, right? If a Chinese guy goes to Japan, he's not going to be like, you're Japanese, so we can't work together, right? I'll come back to my community, but hey, at the end of the day, there's unity in that. And that's, I think, what we're trying to push here too with our ideology and sort of, I think it really comes back down to Pan-Africanism, which I think both of us identify as.
We identified, but I feel like what we're seeing is that huge gap still existing.
Big gap.
That bridge. It's not being constructed at all, or it seems like there's a long way to go.
Yeah. Because
as you mentioned, there's a reason why Brother Malcolm went to Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if you look at the civil rights leaders, they all identify from when it starts with the Garvey movement in the 1920s to Du Bois. It was Du Bois. I don't know how to say it. Du Bois.
Du Bois.
They all identified the importance of the African American to reconnect with their roots by going back to reunite with their brothers in Africa because of being, as you mentioned, victims of oppression on both ends. Mm-hmm. The only way we can overcome that is unity across the diaspora and across brothers and sisters in the motherland. These great, I don't want to say they, but African American civil rights leaders from in the 20th century, the most prominent ones, identified this.
For sure.
When you go all the way to Stokely Carmichael, the Black, power movement that happened in the early 1970s, the Black Panthers.
Black Panther movement.
Stokely Carmichael ended up changing his name to, I think, Sekou Touré, or I'm not sure what it is.
Kwame something.
But he moved to Guinea. All of the great African-American, most civil rights leaders during segregation, 1950s, 1960s, especially through the Black Power movement, identified the importance and the need to connect with their brothers and sisters in Africa.
And I think successfully so too.
So if you're telling me no, as we see in the comments that, you guys don't care, no, we, respect us, we agree, yes. But my question is, why did those African-American leaders, from starting through Du Bois, through Brother Malcolm, MLK, you now go through the Black Power movement, Stokely Carmichael, they all knew the importance.
Hampton.
Fred Hampton.
All done, yeah.
all of them, the prominent ones, they understood you have to build that bridge.
Yeah.
So I think we need to focus our efforts on understanding the vision that they had and how we can apply it. Because as you mentioned, that's the only way we can overcome this oppression that we faced from the Oyibo man.
By the way, that goes both ways. So Nnamdi Azikiwe, he went to Lincoln and Howard.
Yeah.
First president of Nigeria.
Yes.
Kwame Nkrumah, first prime minister and president of Ghana, went to Lincoln University as well.
Robert Mugabe.
I forget where Mugabe went, but he came here.
So our African leaders during the wave of independence, a lot of them came to the US. They came here.
They said, yo,
for education.
Past education, they were like, we need to link up with our brothers.
Link up with the leaders here.
And build on that. So I think on both sides, it needs to be realized.
It should be realized, and I hate us even talking about who's more oppressed, why, and dwelling on our painful past. Mm-hmm. We dwell on that. Mm-hmm. We were both abused. We're both like done dirty to the highest level you can do to human beings. So are we going to nitpick into who suffered most? Why didn't you come to get us back? Will you guys, that is okay. It's important to have these conversations. But why don't we focus on actually how we unite and make sure that we are setting ourselves up to be free from this oppression that we face for the next generations? I would like to have conversations and solutions around that avenue versus talking about, these people said these things about Africans, or African Americans said these things, vice versa.
Mind you,
it seems counterproductive.
Very counterproductive. Mind you, these are like, there's a minimal amount of people who are divisive, right? We should also say that.
Yes. Definitely in the minority. In
the minority, for sure. But although a lot of people are not divisive, they also do not have, or they're also misinformed or underinformed.
Heavily.
Right? So reteaching that history and sparking these conversations is important, because we need to know where we're coming from to know where we're going, right? I think a lot of Africans, and this is why I would hold Africans accountable, is it's almost like a superiority complex that a lot of us have back home against African Americans, where it was passed down from our parents.
Superiority complex because of what? Why do Africans have that superiority complex?
Back to that media control, right? So in the media, all our parents saw from African Americans,
a negative perception.
Negative perception. Let me break down their generations, right? So the 80s, you have the crack epidemic.
Crack epidemic.
You have in the 90s the Rodney King stuff, the Watts riots, all that. Mm-hmm. They're not being given a perspective of what actually sparked those things, right? They're misinformed.
Just showing African Americans in the streets destroying, looting.
Exactly. Then they'll show the perception they have is, this drug dealer wearing big chains, flashing a lot of cash, rapping, blah, blah, right? And they're looking at it like, oh, no, I don't want to be like that. I don't want my kid to be like
associated to like that, yeah.
All the while, they're stuck in the colonial mindset, so they start pandering to the white man, right? So they're saying, how can I be like the white man? Or how can I...
You see in media, the white kids, they live in a nice home, American home, mom and dad, family structure. That's the perception they're given, right? Yeah.
So now, they come on to... that generation of adults gives birth to kids, us.
Yes, millennials and Gen Zs.
Right? And they say, don't go hanging out with so-and-so.
Yeah, they're not good people.
No. You know what I'm saying? A completely misinformed perception. Because when I come to America and I start mixing with other African Americans, and I have, adults in my ears, African elders saying, don't do this, don't do that.
Yeah, don't hang around with them.
You guys are misinformed, brother. Like, you should see what the white folks are doing.
Yeah, you think,
you know what I'm saying? You
should be really worried about it.
You should really be worried about them.
Steve, bro.
So all that to say, man, like, the media
They played us.
Once you control the media, you control
the narrative. You control the narrative.
You control the narrative. You control the outcome. You control so much. You are so powerful that things like this happen. So now you have a bunch of uninformed and misinformed Africans saying, "Oh, I don't like Black Americans," or "I don't know that." Then you have vice versa. A lot of Black Americans saying, "Oh, you can feed an African for $1 a day. You can
African booty scratcher."
That type thing.
Show
right?
them, either blood diamonds,
diamond and all
child
that.
soldiers.
Right, because that's all you see.
We live in villages. We climb trees, huts, and stuff like that.
We have to go fetch water daily type thing. We got lions roaming around. Come on, bro.
They bought us both really good.
We got to understand they played us, bro.
The way we speak the English language, you have to understand where all of these things come from. It's so deliberate. The media played us both to perfection because, again, just like how in the FBI when Hoover was cracking down on all of these civil rights leaders, you don't think they understood the number one priority could be to not allow that bridge to happen? The FBI followed Malcolm X. The FBI followed all the civil rights leaders. And they followed them especially when they went to visit the African leaders. Don't you think the U.S. government understood how dangerous it would be if that bridge existed?
Yeah.
There had to be a deliberate effort.
Hoover he delivered a speech to the FBI saying the greatest threat to national security
was it the Black Panthers?
Was the Black Panther Party?
Yes, there's a reason.
You know what I'm saying?
There's a reason, and it's deliberate. It happened, and it's been so effective because, as you see now, Africans are here, African Americans are here. We have Killmonger, we have T'Challa, and we're still here. Instead of talking about solutions and pathways and avenues, and how can we use both of our intelligence, both of our network, our natural resources that belongs to us to build our community, go back to where we were before Oyibo man ever came and destroyed everything.
Right.
That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about a utopia.
No.
We're talking about getting back to a place where we're oppression free,
or not
misinformed free, and miseducation free.
And maybe not even getting back per se, but moving forward.
Let's not even use getting back.
Right.
Moving forward.
We're moving forward. We're looking at it like, guys, out with that, all that. We're not taking that anymore. Look, we're all educated. We're all equally capable. Let's move forward together, because if we don't, the same shit's going to continue. Right. So that's the angle that we're coming from. Never you must know this and bro, dub that. Like, Let's talk about these.
We're focusing more on solutions, but yes, go ahead.
Let me talk about and specifically within the diaspora wars, right? There's been this debate about foundational Black Americans versus Africans.
Foundational Black Americans.
Foundational Black Americans.
Okay. So to Africans, clearly, like me, I don't know what foundational. Do you have any information about them?
The term foundational Black Americans gained prominence in the 2020s as a way to distinguish this group from more recent immigrants of African descent to the United States, particularly those from the Caribbean and Africa. The term is sometimes used to emphasize the unique cultural, historical, and political experiences of Black Americans, and to call for greater recognition and respect for their contributions to American society, or sentience. A deep sense of connection to the history and culture of Black Americans, including the struggles and achievements of their ancestors in the face of systemic racism and oppression. Frustration with the ongoing legacy of racism and inequality in the United States, including disparities in areas such as education, healthcare, and criminal justice. A desire for the greater recognition and respect for the contributions of Black Americans to American society, including their role in building the country's economy, culture, and political institutions. Those are just some of them.
Facts. Facts. I agree with all of those.
I think anyone who's against that is probably problematic, don't you think?
No, yeah. I think from what you're saying, 100% African Americans do deserve their respect and credit for having, as we talked about last episode, significant contributions to all aspects of American society.
Overwhelming contributions.
Overwhelming.
Yeah.
With no credit, given for, and with all the marginalization, racism, systematic racism that has existed, it has created the wealth gap and all of these things that rightfully so, there should be reparations to that.
Mm-hmm.
But how has this come against now somewhat coming to us being perceived? Because when I read through our comments and see what people are saying of identifying as FBA, most have been really good in terms of unity, but I'm seeing some of that now being deemed as us Africans being an op.
Right. It's now against Africans.
How can such a strong, great message end up your own brothers and sisters coming into, direct line of fire?
Yeah.
And I think we saw like someone talk about this with the Nigerian terms, right?
Akata. Let me play that clip for you so you can, here it is.
Some of the most racist people, in my opinion, towards Black Americans
Hold on.
in this country.
Let me start it over.
Nigerians are some of the most racist people, in my opinion, towards Black Americans in this country. They call us all types of Akadas and all other types of things.
Damn.
An Akada is the N-word, or with the hard R at the end of it.
But that's crazy.
What?
Go ahead.
It's true,
You
though.
finish your point.
No, I finished the point. They call us Akadas and all types of They
I
don't
see what you
appreciate
mean.
us.
Think about this. Nigerians are racist towards people in Africa too.
Yeah.
They literally think they're the best country.
Let's dissect that clip. What do you think about it? Okay. First off, I want to say this. He did say it's an opinion. So there's no factual basis, right? 2, he's using 2 different terminologies. He's saying Nigerians are racist towards Black Americans.
Racist.
But we're the same race. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know how you can be racist towards your own. Actually, you could be racist towards your own kind. You could be Uncle Ruckus, man. I don't know.
You're being too nice to this guy.
Hold on. I'm trying to give him his. I'm trying to be diplomatic here.
Good luck.
3, the way the word Akata was used, I didn't even know about that word till I moved to America.
Pretty much.
But the way it's used is, how I've heard it, it's from, again, our parents' generation.
One tribe in Nigeria.
One tribe, right, in Nigeria. But from our parents' generation to say, oh, this Akata means like American. Right?
American, yeah.
So I think that brother's misinformed. While he is talking about Nigerians and him saying Nigerians are, I'm not going to say racist because you can't say racist, but Nigerians are very they're very tribal. All that Niger know they carry last.
They're proud.
They're very proud of who they are.
But we desperately need that to retain our Africanness, if anything.
I agree. And I think I appreciate Nigerians for doing that too, because if you're standing in a room with 10 people, you're going to know who the Nigerian is. Whether they say it or not, you're going to know it. You need that.
That's what I'm saying.
You need someone to be a strong voice. You need someone to be pro-Black. You need someone to be pro I am who I am. I do understand what he's saying about the Akata, but I don't think he's been presented the right Nigerians, maybe.
I wish I had a scissor and I'll go and cut off both of their mics, all of their mics. That's how I feel about it. I just wish I just cut it off. Because yes, it is opinion based. What is your goal? What is the goal of that opinion? What is your real objectives? Nigerians are the most racist Africans because of maybe your experience. What are you getting out of this? Who are you telling this to? What do you want out of it? What is the outcome? If you have such an opinion so profound that you need to go on social media and proclaim this, that Nigerians are so racist that they call you Akadas and all kinds of stuff. Why are you doing this? Who are you helping? That's just what I know. Like, who are you helping? Because we can give you a historical lesson on your whole concept of even Nigerians. In one word, in tribe of Nigeria, the most diverse. Nigeria is like a mini continent in terms of its diversity.
Yeah.
For you to take one tribe, one word, and now use it to summarize, we can go down the historical route and just eradicate anything that you mentioned there that has any substance. It doesn't. But really, why are you doing this? If you want to promote and ensure, as you mentioned about foundational Black Americans, all the recognition and reparations they do deserve, yes. But what benefit is it for you to go and proclaim this? And then your buddy there, I told her he will bounce back. He goes and says Nigerians are even racist to other Africans. Who told you that?
I think people
told you that?
are just misinformed.
You know these guys, bro, I'm telling you, they should be podcast police. Get scissors and just cut off mics. Even if we say so, just cut off these mics. You can't say those things. These things are what causes the divide. We just, came for Acho for making wild statements. And then here's this guy making another wild statement on the other side. You see, this is the problem. We can literally just go every week talking about these problematic statements, but what is the goal and who are you trying to help by spreading that misinformation, even if it's an opinion, even if it is an opinion. Even if it's your opinion, keep it to yourself. Because that will not have any benefit to everything that we mentioned, and it doesn't have any value to us as Black people and what we're facing. It's not a value-based opinion.
Right.
And you're using a platform to miseducate and misinform. Trump supporters had a lot of opinions.
A whole lot of them.
The colonialists had a lot of opinions.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
So that's what I say, man. I'm telling you, like, I saw that, I've seen similar clips like that, Anzo, and it's just extremely problematic.
Not only is it problematic, it's doing the very thing that we're trying to undo, which is divisive. That's right. Continues to divide more than to unite. So
I wish, we can spend more time again providing, let's talk, talking and providing on ways we can, amplify each other. Who's doing great things, discuss those projects, challenges, solutions. How can we improve? Why don't we, put our efforts on that?
Right.
Investing in the whole Black community, making sure we're supporting our businesses, having ownership, connecting. Can we just focus on that?
Let's focus on that.
We're that. That's what we want to focus on.
Exactly.
We don't want to be.
I think that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
We don't want to be here reading about this guy don't buy Akadas.
Right.
We don't want that. Can we? I would like to hear someone of substance who
subjective.
Yes.
Substantial information. Here's the last thing I'll say before we kind of cut out. Hold on. Shout out to this tee right here.
That's a dope T-shirt.
This is Above Our Differences. My boy.
You got some legends on that shirt,
so
bro.
Y'all can see the legends, or if you don't know who they are.
If Anzo walks out on the street with that shirt, the way people might start buying down.
But here's the last thing I'll say, right? When I see a Black man, Black woman out in public, the first thing I think is that's my brother or that's my sister. I don't care if you're from Togo, if you're from Botswana, if you're from Memphis, if you're from New York, if you're from California, if you're from wherever the hell, if you're from Brazil. If I see a Black man or a Black woman, the first thing I think is that's my kin, right? So no matter how much someone else tells me they are not my kin, that's on them. Which is where the divisiveness comes in, right? If you don't want to be associated with me, I'm fine with that.
That's fine.
Best of luck to you. But you need to understand that my objective is always going to be unity within Black people, no matter how much disappointment we have and no matter how much joy we have. The message is always going to stay the same. And the objective is always going to stay the same. I'm saying that to address certain people in the comments, right? You can shout all you want.
That's fine.
That's fine. Just know
You can't stop us.
it's not going to change the way I see another black man or another black woman. Me? You've heard it from me, right? That's my objective. I'm rooting for everybody black, and I'm going to try and unite us so that we may have more prosperity, more peace, more unity, and overall just more happiness.
Well said, brother.
If you're not down with that, best of luck to you.
Best of luck, and we're not the forum to argue and
we're
devise.
not the forum to
Because
promote your divisiveness.
We're not.
Yeah.
We're not. And you cannot tell us, no, how dare you not talk. No, yes, we are.
Yeah.
This is how we view this is what we value. This is what we think will help us be free from the oppression.
So if you can't get down with that,
If you're not down with that, cool. That's cool. Do your
Best
thing,
of luck.
brother. Good
Best
luck.
of
Best of luck. But you can't tell us not to.
you can't tell us not to. man.
And we're clearly seeing there's an overwhelming number of people that are spreading those love and messages and telling us that. And we really appreciate it. And this is what we want to do.
Exactly.
We really want to just foster solutions and how we can be stronger together.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we want to talk about. That's what we value. If you don't,
yeah. I'm not interested in trying to fight anyone.
yeah. Good luck.
So
Good
I'm
luck.
not interested in fighting.
good luck. So I hope for those who don't understand, get a chance to listen to this and check out our videos, and you see our topics where we talk about this is what we want to talk. These are what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
So call us optimists, call us utopian. Good for you.
Good for you.
You know what I'm saying? Anyway.
Hey, all I'm saying is shout out Dr. Umar. He's never lost an argument.
Modern day Malcolm.
Real talk. This has been TJMTM, the Joel and Me Somebody podcast. Thank y'all for joining us. If you like what you heard, which I hope you did, don't forget to like, comment. Subscribe.
Yep.
Engage with us, repost. Really appreciate y'all. And yeah, man, stay humble, stay blessed, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Peace.
This is